Hi friends, Byron here, and I am going to talk about RuPaul Drag Race episode 4. Now we're just in the midst of the season, and once this part starts, you kind of see what they're going to get into, which is usually the same challenges and things that they have done before. And so let's just dive right into the episode. It was a acting challenge episode, and for me, none of the performances really stood out like, oh my god, she just really floored me or made me laugh or this, that, the other. It gave what it was supposed to give, I guess. And believe it or not, I think as a whole, both of the groups did really well. And that's why he didn't possibly, RuPaul, she didn't possibly group them together and said this whole group is safe, this whole group is safe. Because I think kind of evenly, they were pretty good across the board. And what I like about this season is now that the girls that are left, they are pretty much, most of them are on the same playing field. And then, as of right now, because we know a lot of things can change, Willow Pill and Angeria is running the show. So these other girls, they better step their pussies up because those two didn't come to play. So, let's see. Cornbread. Oh yeah, Cornbread bit with Jasmine, and it's like, you know what? We don't get to see the whole thing. We get an edited version of what happens when they're in the workroom. And sometimes when someone is talking a little too much and not letting others get their point across, I know someone like this, it just tends to turn you off, and then now you don't even want to deal with the person or listen to what they say. So yeah, something probably should have been said. I think she said it in the most half a way that she could, and let's just see if Jasmine will pay attention and hear what the girls have to say. Watching in the back of the time. I don't know what I said right there. Well, of course, we get to see their performances, and it's after the runway. So the runway happens, and I wrote down Willow looked good, Carrie looked good, Maddie coat looked too big, and I'm not that into women's fashion, so if that was fashionable, okay, great, you nailed it. But somehow it just looked like the outfit was wearing her. So that's kind of what I thought of that. When the judges get to their critiques, and I definitely am not a hard ass. I am so sentimental and gullible, and I want to hear your stories and things like that, but there's a place and a time, and I know that the judges aren't in the workroom with them all the time to hear their backstories and their trials and tribulations. And for the workroom, I think that's great for them to bond with one another and tell those stories there. And it'd be really creepy if they were actually just watching them doing it instead of being in the room with them. So when they share these things on the runway, I don't know. I just feel like if they had a bad night, you had a bad night. And somehow they just seem to make their past as an excuse to me sometimes. And maybe it's not, and like I said, we get an unedited version of this, so I don't know what's entirely going on during the show. We get bits and pieces, but them explaining what something happened to them in whatever past on the runway because you had a bad night. Because you ever notice none of them, if they have a really good night, and maybe Gigi Good, I know she had a really good relationship with her mom. So, but the others is oh, thank you very much, high praise, and they move on. So anyway, I just think the whole sob stories on the runway, especially for the ones that had a bad night, I lean to the side of excuse. And the thing is maybe it helps them, maybe it don't. I don't know, but I don't want to hear it. All right, so all right, Carrie and Alyssa has to lip sync. And you know what? I'm okay okay with it. I think those two and Maddie, I believe, was in the bottom. And if I'm wrong, you can correct me in the comments. But Carrie and Alyssa 6, and here is where Alyssa went wrong, is that I think she was doing too much for the song. And it was getting sloppy, and I don't know, but what the little bit that Carrie was doing, and she was doing very slow, not slow in sexual moves, but slow in sensual movements. I don't know, whatever she was doing to the Jennifer Lopez song, it worked. And the thing that Alyssa was doing was not working. So I definitely agree with RuPaul. Alyssa was the one that needed to go. I didn't want to see her go because she's definitely one of the most good looking ones out of drag. So it's going to be a shame not seeing her anymore, but it is what it is. All right. So, the show must go on, and Angeria wins the night. I know I wrote that down somewhere. If I didn't, I should have. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, Angeria, she won the night. I'm sure Willow was close second. Now the bar is set. These girls have to match them or move on. They're going to get lost in the sauce. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to be notified every time I post a video, hit the notification bell. It's somewhere on the screen. And I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, and don't forget to tell a friend about this channel. If you're here, just subscribe. It's free.